All right, today we're going to demystify one of the biggest names in the game for up-and-coming developers, Google Summer of Code. We're going to break down what it is, why it's such a massive deal for your career, and most importantly, how you can get in on the action.
So let me just ask you this. What if you could spend your summer working on real software projects people actually use, level up your coding skills like crazy, and get a nice paycheck for it? Well, that's not just a dream scenario. It's the whole idea behind Google Summer of Code.
Okay, so before we dive into GSoC itself, we need to kind of get the lay of the land. The entire program is built around this one really powerful idea: open source.
At its heart, open source is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. The source code, the actual blueprint of the software, is out there in the open for anyone to see, to mess with, and even to improve. We're talking about massive projects you probably use every single day, like Mozilla Firefox, all built by this amazing global community of developers.
Now, it's super easy to get open source mixed up with freeware, but they're worlds apart. Think about freeware like WinRAR. Sure, you can use it for free, but the code is a total black box. And then you have proprietary software like Microsoft Office, where you have to pay and the code is locked down tight. Open source is special because it's not about being free of cost. It's about the freedom to see the code, learn from it, and work on it together.
So where does GSoC fit into all this? Well, you can think of it like this. Google literally pays you to work with one of these amazing open source organizations for about 3 months. You get a mentor, you write real code that gets used, and you become a legit member of that community. Working on a cool project is great, for sure. But let's be real. What's in it for you? The rewards from GSoC go way beyond just a summer thing. They can genuinely set up your entire career.
Oh, the benefits are huge. First off, it's pure gold for your resume. Having Google Summer of Code on there makes people sit up and take notice. You're building a network with developers from all over the world. And yeah, you get a really generous stipend for all your hard work. But honestly, the best part is the real-world experience you just can't get in a classroom. Oh, and you also get a one-time job referral for Google and, of course, some pretty sweet swag.
So all of this sounds pretty incredible, right? But this is usually the moment when that little voice of self-doubt starts to creep in. So in this next part, let's just tackle that head on. Are you actually ready for GSoC?
Am I good enough?
Yeah, that one. This is probably the #1 question that stops people in their tracks. It's totally intimidating to think about working on software that millions of people might use, but you'd be surprised at what they're really looking for. Let's just start with the official rules, because they're surprisingly simple. You gotta be 18 or older and able to work in your country. But check out that last point. You can be a student or just a beginner to open source. That's huge. Google opened the program up, which is fantastic news for pretty much anyone who wants to get started. Okay, so what about the tech skills? Let's take that big, scary feeling of not being good enough and turn it into a simple, concrete checklist. You'll need to know your way around Git and GitHub, have a good handle on at least one programming language, and be comfortable using tools like Slack or IRC to communicate. The key here is that none of this is magic. These are all skills you can learn and practice right now. So let's say you're checking off the boxes. You're eligible, you're working on the skills. What does the actual path to applying even look like? Let's map it out step by step. The first step, and honestly, this can be the toughest, is finding the right project for you. A great starting point is the GSoC archives. You can see who's participated before. But here's the most important part. Don't just be a lurker. You have to get involved. Jump into their Slack or IRC channels, ask smart questions, and try to fix a tiny bug. That's how you show you're serious and really get to know how they work. Okay, now listen up, because this might be the single most important piece of advice in this entire explainer. Do not just pick a project because it uses a language you know. Pick a project that you are genuinely interested in. Why? Because you will hit a wall. Every project has tough spots. And when you do, it's your passion for the project's mission that's going to get you through it, not just your knowledge of the syntax. So once you've found a project you're excited about, it's time to write your proposal. And this isn't just paperwork, it's your blueprint for the entire summer. You need to clearly lay out your goals, break the big project down into smaller chunks, and then map those chunks onto a realistic 12-week timeline. A really solid proposal shows the team that you've thought this through and you have a real plan. You did it. You found a project, you poured your heart into the proposal, you hit submit. So now what happens?
let's talk about the final stage of this journey, the outcome.
This is so important to understand. Whether you get that acceptance email or not, you have already won. Seriously, the whole process of finding organizations, talking with real developers, and writing a detailed technical plan is a huge learning experience. You will come out of the application process with more skills and more confidence, no matter what.
And hey, if you don't get selected on your first try, you're in really, really good company. A ton of successful GSoCers applied more than once. The open source community respects persistence, so take the feedback, stick around the community, and keep that fire going for the next time. By going through this process, you're not just signing up for a summer program, you are taking your first real steps into the incredible global community of open source development. So really, the only question left is, are you ready to start your journey?